Hello, hello, hello. Hi, welcome. I will be starting in just a few. So, starting in 4 minutes for my lunch and learn. Yeah, welcome. Hello, welcome everyone. I will be starting in just under about 3 or 4 minutes. I know some people are kind of just getting to their laptop or they're going on break, going on lunch. So just giving some people the time they need to join us. So bear with me. I will start in a few minutes. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We're going to get started. If anyone joins us, you guys already know I always post these lunch and learns on our YouTube channel, which I will link towards the end of the lunch and learn. But yes, welcome. Happy Wednesday. My name is Cherie. For anyone who may be new, I am the marketing manager for Flamel AI. I am hosting these lunch and learns every Wednesday for the next, I want to say, next 7 to 8 weeks. Each week, I am discussing new topics on social media and where to start. So basically, breaking down the basics. So if you missed last week's, it was like, where do you start? How do you build your brand's voice? And this week we are focusing on finding your audience. So this is something that I've met through a lot of people and understand like they don't know where to even start on how to find their audience or what their audience is, even what their demographic is or their interest or how to even find it. So going into our very first slide, why is your audience important? So basically, just targeting the right audience on social media ensures that your messages reach those who find your content most valuable and really leading to better engagement, loyalty, and I mean, for anyone who is in business, a return on your investment. So making sure that you're getting what you're putting out in return. So making sure that you are finding those core audiences is extremely important. Some evolution. So before we dive into some of the steps that I've put together on finding your core audience, is before that, let's go into like the evolution on like these online communities. So I broke down just from the late 80s. So I call it the early internet forums. So late 80s, that was when the internet was pretty much beginning. Internet has been here for a while, but this is where more and more users started to incorporate internet access. So building those forums, bulletin boards in the early, well, into the late 80s to late 90s. This was kind of like the earliest way of creating those communities with common interest. And then once you go into the early to mid 2000s, I call this the era of mass broadcasting. This is where platforms such as who is like a MySpace user. These past MySpace users, I am one of those, showing my age for sure. But MySpace, this is where MySpace, even Zynga and Facebook started to emerge, and you were able to broadcast your different interests on these different platforms and really use the tools within these softwares. And brands saw this as an opportunity to really start leaning into this digital platform as like a mega microphone, to reach a broader audience and to reach more people. So that's why it's kind of the mass broadcasting, because you were just posting anything and everything to just a mass audience and not really having anything that was segmented. Next era is the late 2000s, early 2010s. I call this the rise of personalization and algorithms. So we all know that triggering word, algorithm. So as like more and more people were going towards social media users, um, platforms such as Facebook and Instagram started to curate content to their users within their feed. So this comes to like your explore page, and then even some, as in TikTok, which we'll get into a little bit more, start to curate different pieces of content for users, and how they generate that is what users are usually interested in. So this was done with like relevant and maintaining user engagement. Social media advertising tools became more sophisticated. Became more sophisticated and allowing more details with demographics and geographics and just interest-based targeting. Then the next era of the platform really was the shift towards the niche. So this is where TikTok was pretty much born. So mid 2010s to late 2010s, this was more of the centric of having different platforms for different niches. So this was like LinkedIn for professionals, TikTok, where it was short form videos, which was for more enthusiasts for different interests. And then even Twitch, it was made for gamers. Um, and then the last era is the one that we are kind of currently into, which is the niche community. So this is more so the niche communities and micro influencers. I'm sorry. So this is where the algorithm is starting to really emphasize growing these communities and building these groups within any of these social media platforms. So micro influencers have become more reachable than these mega influencers because their community is a lot more smaller, but they're more engaged within their interest and they connect better with their community. So that's just like a little overview of the evolution of finding your target audience or from this mass broadcasting to becoming more of like a niche community. And I would say like my predictions going forward with like in the next 6 months to a year is more so like personalization with micro influencers involved in having and being able to actually making content for an individual. So rather than having these groups of people, I believe that we are in a phase where we're going to be able to personalize each piece of content tailored to an individual. So I may see something completely different from the person sitting next to me on a brand's like Instagram feed or Facebook feed, but it's still going to be tailored to us, but it's going to be messaged to us in a different way. That's my prediction in the next 6 months to a year. So why does it matter? Why does finding your target audience matter? This is something that I get asked a lot, is why does it even matter? So obviously, as you can see, improved engagement, better conversion rates, and brand loyalty. So having content that is tailored to your audience's interests gets you more likes and shares and comments. So better engagement and then a better conversion rate. So the right messaging in the right audience gives you a better return on your investment, which if you're a small business owner, that's always the end goal. That's always the overarching goal, is to get your return back on anything that you invest in. And then brand loyalty, understanding your audience's needs leads to long lasting connections. So making sure that you're pretty much catering to the people that are currently following you. Those are your brand loyalists. So really being able to foster that community is way better and deeper. Steps to identify your target audience. So I broke it down into 4 steps, with the 4 steps that to find your audience. So step number 1 is define your loyal customer. So this goes into the demographics, so age, some of your interest, behaviors, how they purchase, where they live. This is more so like the overarching definers for your customer base. So this is kind of like if you were to look at like a pyramid or a funnel, this was like the top of the funnel. Next thing that step number 2 is research competitors. So what audiences, what is your audience being targeted to? How are they being targeted and what works for them? So trying to find your competitors and doing a little bit of research on them is always the best way to find out how to find your audience, and then tweaking it to be more on brand for you. Step number 3 is engaging existing followers. So if you already have a good follower amount, if you don't, it's okay. If you're just starting out, that's okay. You will find people will start following you once you start creating content. But if you have somewhat of a following currently, being able to engage with them, so asking probing questions, having surveys, polls, and even sliding in their DMs is a great way of getting feedback from them. So having that social listening is a great source for you to be able to build that connection with your audience because you're creating content for them. So if they're not engaging with your content, then you're not doing something right. Um, Next is analyze data. So using any type of insights or third-party social media platforms such as Flamel, nice little plug. We do analyze data as well to make sure that the content that you are putting out is resonating with your audience. So making sure that you are going back and finding what's worked, what didn't work, what needs a little tweak is the best way to really tailor your content to your audience. So making sure that you are either using the insights within the social media platforms that you are on, or using a third party like Flamel is the best bet. Oh my goodness. I live by myself, y'all, and I heard something, so sorry. So next thing is leveraging your audience segmentation. So once you have kind of like the overarching information for your core audience, not everyone that follows you is the same exact person. So this will benefit you with like personalization, increasing engagement, and diversifying your content within your social platforms. Hold on, I have someone in the chat. Oh, maybe I missed it, but will there be access to this presentation? But yes, so this will be posted on our YouTube. Um, yeah, on our YouTube channel. I'll drop the link towards the end to our YouTube channel and all of our other social media platforms so that you'll be able to access that. I always post these presentations, these lunch and learns on our YouTube channel 24 hours after I present them. So this time tomorrow, it will be live on YouTube. Just saw that question. I am so sorry. So next, going back into how to categorize your audience. So this goes back into the segmentation of everything of how to segment your overarching brand. Not overarching brand, but your overarching audience. So data collection is number one. I would say, again, those surveys, any type of feedback is crucial, just so that you can know what your audience, so that you can listen to your audience and know what they are interested in. I would also say social media insights and anything of like web analytics. So social media insights goes back to the analytics within that social media platform. So Instagram has its own insights, Facebook has its own insights. So does TikTok, LinkedIn. They all have their own insights, and you can also use a third-party social media provider. We keep plugging us to get those insights as well. And then web analytics, this is more so of like Google Analytics. So being able to track user traffic on your website and seeing what different types of analytics go within your website and what people are searching for and how people are finding you online. Next is demographics. So this is another way of segmenting your audience by age. So I usually do like an age range, gender, location, education, and even profession. So what do people do, how people are educated, how this is crucial in how you are also going to talk to these specific audiences. Um, and then next we have behavior. So behavior can be a couple of things. I mainly use behavior for like purchasing behaviors. Like how often does my audience or how often does my audience buy from me? Are they first time visitors? Are they repeat customers? And then even some of the content engagement. So like how often are they engaging with my content? What content are they most likely to engage with? Is it video? Is it a carousel? Is it a static image? Is it a text based? Um, Once you kind of like start defining that, will also help you build better content. And then platform usage. This one I can't stress enough. I feel like a lot of brands, I wouldn't even say big brands because big brands have bigger teams for their socials. But even some like smaller to mid-sized brands try to focus on all social media platforms for either their clients or for their own personal brand. And sometimes it's not the most beneficial. So making sure that you find your audience and find where they're mostly at. So if it's on TikTok, focus most of your content creation on TikTok. If it's Instagram, focus most of your content creation on Instagram, and then so on and so forth. And once you mastered a specific platform, that's when you move on to the next platform. Little tidbit. Um, and then last but not least, psychogeographic. So this goes into your values, what values resonates with your audience and their aspirations and what are their goals? Are there any challenges or pain points? So understanding how you can help and tailor those solutions with different offers within your content. And then obviously lifestyle. I feel like lifestyle is another way of really honing in on what people are looking for. And then once you gather all of these different types of segments and you kind of really start tailoring out what this person is. This is where you start to create that persona. If you ever heard of a persona, this is how you do it. So this is based off like the categorization. Wow. Craft detailed audiences, and these are just like fictional people. These aren't actual people, but it gives you an age range. It gives you just kind of like a physical being of who you're actually talking to. So that is how you segment your audience. Next are some common mistakes that I see, and this is how I would approach to avoid them. So the mistakes are overgeneralization, not updating and ignoring feedback and data, and then relying on paid promotions. So why overgeneralization is considered a mistake? It's a broad approach and it kind of dilutes your messaging when you are trying to push your product in a genuine light. Um, and how I would solve that is by segmenting your audience into those more specific subgroups. So, just like I said, having those segmented groups is crucial. And then tailoring your messaging towards those different groups. Not updating. So not updating your audience as frequently as possible. A solution that I will give you is regularly analyze your sales, engagement metrics, and even some market trends or predicting market trends. Updating your audience profiles at least I said annually, but you can even do it within like 6 months. I would say 6 months start to like see if there's a dip in engagement with some of your content and try to readjust what your audience is looking for or needing. And then also anytime after any like major industry shifts is when you should update. Next is ignoring feedback and data. So I would say create some channels to gather feedback. Again, surveys, reviews, even sliding in people's DMs, and regularly review and act on any data that you have from sales and engagement. And then last but not least, relying on paid promotion. You have to have a balance within your strategy. So being able to invest in promotions is great, but also being able to come up with content that's more of organic um, will really help with engaging genuinely with your audience. So those are my mistakes and how I would solve them. So some key takeaways, and I'm going to open up the Q&A as well. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. You can either drop them in the chat or drop them in the Q&A. But some key takeaways that I want everyone to just follow up on are deep understanding over surface assumptions. So really trying to understand what your audience's problems are. So those pain points and how you are here to help, how you are here to solve them, and then engagement over broadcasting. So broadcasting is that again that mass production of just sending out information but not really tailoring it to specific needs and just kind of being real generic with the content that you're creating rather than trying to be helpful with those audiences. So being helpful will drive engagement and then rather than just broadcasting, and then adapt and evolve. I think this just goes for like life in general. Adapting to whatever analytics you've picked up on, even some social listening from surveys, and adapting and changing survey, being able to pivot your marketing strategies are, I feel like, is the best way. So if you are creating content for a whole month, or I don't even suggest creating content for 3 months out anymore because things can change so abrupt, especially in the light that we are in currently. So being able to have that flexibility to create content when you need to for your audience is crucial. Do I have a question? Hold, please. Thank you for this information. Good info. Good info to build on when building your presence on any platform. Thank you. I appreciate that. I still have a few more minutes before the 30 minutes is up. Do you guys have any more questions? Um, and I appreciate everyone that joined me today. So if you see on your screen right now, I don't have my YouTube on here. I will give you guys the link to YouTube. But this is where you'll be able to find us on social media. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. So we are trying to be anywhere and everywhere. But yeah, any more questions? Let's see, we got a few more people and just waiting to see. Put on a little bit more music. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'll give you like 1 more minute and then I'm gonna give you 2 minutes back of your time so you guys can enjoy the rest of your break. So yes, let's see. Put on a little music maybe for you guys. Yeah. I'm also on TikTok right now, guys. I'm going live on TikTok. Woo. Say hi, guys. Yo, we was in the Matrix for a second. You know what I'm saying? We were in the Matrix. Okay, well, if you guys don't have any more questions or comments, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. And I will be here next week, same time, same place. Next week, hold on, I have the schedule. Where is my schedule? Next week, I will be talking about, I think it's a good one next week. Oh, next week, I'll be talking about how to build your social community. So this week, it was how you find your people. And then next week is how you keep those people. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Again, if you came in a little bit late, understandable. You will be able to find this same presentation tomorrow at noon on our YouTube channel. If you guys have any questions or any feedback, please reach out to me. My name is Cherie Thacker, so you can find me anywhere on social media. That is just literally my tag. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and an even better rest of your week. I shall see you guys next week. Bye.